According to every single study to date, men today do more dishes and bring more kids to school than their fathers and grandfathers ever did. This could explain why, taken together, men do more in paid and unpaid labor combined than women. Women going into the workforce hasn't offset the number of hours men have to put into paid employment. Yet guess what? It is not enough.
Here are some relationship behaviours in men that are so praised that I just think are the absolute bare minimum. Like, if they're not doing this, you've got a problem. You shouldn't be praising them. First up, we have men helping with the baby. It's literally half of their baby. Oh my god, I squirted out way too much of that. When I hear people like, oh my god, look at him, he's so amazing, he's changing his baby's nappy. Are you actually for real? Like, of course he should change the bloody nappy. It's his freaking baby. It takes two to tango, my love. It's actually happened to me more than once where someone has been talking about their baby daddy and they're like, oh, he's so good though, he looks after them all the time. Well, freaking duh, so he bloody should. Sorry, I'm feeling a bit sassy again today. I need to calm down. Next one is when people praise men for just helping out around the house. The last time I checked, he lived there as well. So yes, he should in fact be helping out around the house. And don't get me wrong, I know that this is kind of dependent on like what roles you've set up in place in your family. Like if the man is the one that's going to provide and you're the one that's going to stay at home and clean, whatever your situation may be, like fair enough if it's kind of that situation and he's choosing to like help out and do a little bit more around the house. But I find most of the time that isn't the case, and it is just like two parties going out to work still, and yet the man still somehow gets praised for doing stuff around the house.
So you guys broke up at that point because
No, this is the question. Do I look like I would go 50-50 on bills?
No.
Okay.
And look at what happened. She called herself flexing and got a bigger flex on her. Now he's with somebody he doesn't have to pay a dime for. So it didn't work. You lost them to somebody with more money that will do 50-50.
The more bills a woman pays by herself, the less attractive men become, because she's now so independent that all she's worried about is taking care of her family and leveling up. To her, a man has no place in her life because he's not bringing anything to the table but headaches and wasted time. Yes, she's in her masculine energy, and that's not gonna change until a real man steps up to the plate and takes some of that weight off her shoulders.
Picture your girl coming home from work, a 9 to 5, right? You also came from work, a 9 to 5. We both got to the house. I barely put my stuff down. I start cooking. While I'm cooking, I'm cleaning around the house. I'm cleaning the bathroom. I'm doing laundry, right? The food is finally ready. At this point, I'm shaking because I'm starving and I want to eat.
And you haven't stopped. You haven't had a moment to breathe.
And you're laying down in bed already watching TV, right?
And then I'm supposed to be happy.
Right. And then now the food is finally ready, and now I have to serve the food, take it like a king to your fucking bedroom, and then I get to eat after you?
All I have to say is literally fuck out of my face.
But guess wasn't 50-50. The dishes wasn't 50-50. The laundry wasn't 50-50. The cleaning wasn't 50-50. And that's an everyday motherfucking job. I come home and then got food on the table, got clothes on the bed, got shit everywhere. Every day I'm exhausted. I'm coming home, I'm cleaning my house. And yes, I do that anyways. But when it's just you, it's just you. When you are cleaning up for a man and his children and other people, it is a whole full-time job and you don't get time for yourself. And that's why women get burnt out. And you're no longer happy in your relationship because you're coming home and a man is sitting on the couch because he's tired from work and you're making sure you're catering to him.
So what? So what? So what?
I don't understand. Where's the value in that?
Fellas, do not choose a woman who don't want to be a woman.
Are you delusional?
The modern day women, right there. I'm gonna go to work like you. You want me to cook, clean? So what? Yes, you're gonna cook, clean, do this and do that. And guess what? He taking the trash out, he fixing the house, he making sure it is. But we have different duties, functions, and responsibilities. My wife don't want my duties. Just because I can see you cook the food and you can't see me clean the gutters, you don't even care about that stuff, but it still need to be done. Men have different responsibilities. So all this, oh, I cook and I clean and yeah, that's part of your function. But when your tire is flat, my function is to make sure you have a new tire. Your car need an oil change. It's my job to make sure these people ain't ripping you off. We have different duties and functions and responsibilities. And if you don't love your duty, your function, your responsibility, you're not fit to be a wife, period.
When was the last time you told her, I appreciate you? As husbands, as men, our words are powerful. We can use them to lift up our family, or to tear them down. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to your wife right now. Find her, whatever she may be doing. Stop her and look her in the eye and say, I appreciate you. And then watch how her face lights up. You can literally change your marriage just by doing little things like that. And I know marriage is complicated, but sometimes it's as simple as this. So use your words for positivity. Use them to lift up your family instead of tearing them down. You'll be amazed what a difference that'll make.
If you're lucky enough that your wife is able to stay home and take care of the kids or just take care of the house, and you're not coming home and still thanking her very much for the house looking nice, or you just expect it to be perfect every day and the kids to be tended to, and you can come home and just lounge and not continue to contribute to the home, and not at least thank your wife and appreciate everything she's done to make your life easy, you're an asshole. Because let me tell you, there's a lot of husbands out there that wish so badly that our wives could just stay home during the day. Our world's not designed that way. There's very few families that can afford to do that sort of thing. I'm lucky. My wife works about 6 or 7 minutes down the street from our house. She's off during the summers because she's in the education system. So we're fortunate in that aspect. But there's some husbands out there, their wives have to commute to work. They're out of control of whatever their situation is once their wife leaves the house, and they can no longer really be in charge of any kind of safety or whatever. And it worries us. Like when my wife is on her way to work, whether it's 6 or 7 minutes down the road or whatever, I worry about her. I hope that she gets to work safely. And during the summer when she's at home and she's pretty much taking care of the entire house, I still come home and I kick in as best I can. She's usually got most of it under control. I still do the cooking because that's just what I like to do in our house, and she's not a very good cook. But anyway, appreciate your wives, man. Some of your wives are in my comments on these videos I make saying how they just wish you would come home and give them a hug and say thank you. So if you're one of those husbands that don't even give them a hug and say thank you, or God forbid you stop and buy her some flowers or a snack or her favorite drink or maybe a bottle of wine or whatever, then you really need to do better. And if you can't do better, then you don't deserve to be married, because that's really terrible and you should expect more of yourself.
I just want to know if there's any other ladies out there whose dream job is to be a stay-at-home wife, because honestly, I'm trying to understand the desire to want to be a girl boss or like a breadwinner. Like, do you know how much I would love to just be able to stay at home, raise our children, cook, bake some cute little muffins or something, buy some throw pillows, make sure the house stays nice and organized, do those like nice little fridge organizations like we see on the TikTok videos. Like, that is what I would love to do. Like, my dream career would be to be a stay-at-home wife and mother and taking care of the family. Like, I understand now, like, society's kind of pushing for women to pursue their careers and basically like become men, but I don't know. I just want to be in my feminine, like, you know, how God created it to be, like the woman to be feminine, the man to be masculine, and for them to go out and provide and work, and then the woman to stay at home and take care of their family. Like, is there anyone else that wants it too? Because like, I feel like I'm alone here.
The number one mistake men make in a marriage from a divorce lawyer. A spouse who never participates in household chores often breeds resentment in the other spouse. There's not going to then be one incident that results in some extreme fight that ends the marriage. It's a slow burn. So my advice to you guys out there, if you want to stay married, empty the dishwasher every once in a while.
This is the biggest thing that men get wrong in marriage. Some men think that they don't have to do household chores. That's the wife's responsibility. The wife is going to resent a husband who doesn't help, who doesn't cook, who doesn't do laundry, who doesn't help with the kids. That resentment will lead to the end of your marriage. Even if you make all the money for the family, you still got to contribute at home. You still got to help your wife out at home. As a divorce lawyer, I can't tell you how many times I've heard these complaints from my female clients.
Husband is responsible for the emotional well-being of his wife and of his family. You just can't come home and pass out in the lazy boy and say, I made the money for the groceries, I made the car payment. Your most important responsibility starts when you walk in the door of your house, not when you leave the door of your house. You're responsible not just for provision and security. You're responsible for the emotional well-being of your family. Okay?
Listen, men, I honestly don't mean to insult you, but going to work and mowing the grass and fixing the car and the house and cleaning the gutters aren't examples of showing up in your relationship. It's the bare minimum when it comes to your relationship, because you would do all that stuff even if she wasn't around. And I get it, I've lost 90% of you because you're immediately triggered and you feel unfairly blamed. Yeah, I'm the same way, but it doesn't matter. You wouldn't have listened regardless of what words I chose. And when you guys get divorced, not saying it's your fault, just saying when it happens, you're still going to be going to work. You're still going to be mowing the grass and fixing your car and pressure washing the driveway. You don't get to use those things as the primary ways you're showing up in this relationship. If all you're doing is stuff you'd be doing anyways if she wasn't around, that's not contributing to your relationship together. And I know your mind immediately drifts to her and what she's doing, and she's doing the same thing. Stop it. Stop deflecting accountability towards someone else. I know she has work to do. That has nothing to do with why you haven't started doing your work. And the first work you need to do is starting to learn how to stop blame shifting and start taking accountability for the actual state of your relationship. It's a simple question. How are you both building intimacy together? How are you both cultivating closeness and connection and friendship? How are you prioritizing each other's love languages and emotional needs? What barriers are in the way? And what are we doing to remove them? And if you don't know, great! I didn't know either. But I stayed at I don't know for far too long. And I was too prideful or embarrassed or fearful or oblivious to actually find out what love requires of me, what any relationship needs to survive. Don't do that. Because you know what I found out? Prioritizing her in the relationship, serving her, honoring her, elevating her, not in status, just out of respect. That didn't just benefit the relationship, it benefited me. It turns out selflessness is the key to selfishly getting the relationship you actually wanted. I'm not saying you aren't putting in any effort. I'm not saying I want you to only give to someone who neglects you. I said, let's make sure either partner isn't feeling neglected, because we should care about that stuff, right? And there's a chance, just a small chance, that your partner feels like things are a little uneven in certain areas. They feel a little unappreciated, a little neglected, and they don't think you care. Do me a favor and prove them wrong by asking before it's too late.
You married?
Yes.
Cool. Is he happy?
That's a weird question. Usually they ask if I'm happy.
Yeah, but like, it's a different kind of an interview. I'm just, because he's not here, like, I want to show my care for him as well. Is he happy? Your answer is yes, no? You don't want to answer that question?
No.
I think it's okay. I think we got the answer.
Who we?
It's me and the camera guy. You got it, bro?
Yeah. Well, fuck.
So today is my 3-year wedding anniversary, and I can without a doubt say that this has been hands down the most depressing, miserable, horrible 3 years of my life. I have literally never been so depressed. I've never hated another person more than I hate the person that I married. While I run my ass off and I do everything for everybody in my life, like me, my kids, him, he goes to work and works enough. That's it. He works. Yeah, his job's hard. Yeah, his hours suck. But he works. That is all he does. I am in a different town because I had to take my kids to their football practice. And I asked him to watch our daughter. And you know what he did? He slept. He slept since he got home. What did I do? I did homework. I fed the kids. I took my son to speech. I went to the bank. I paid people to mow my yard because, he can't mow the yard anymore. I, like I said, made sure homework got done. I got them ready for football. I took them to football. I tried taking care of myself and went on a walk, but, when I started realizing I hadn't heard from him, I'm calling and calling and calling and begging for the bare minimum of him to watch our fucking daughter. Excuse my language. I'm just so upset. To watch our daughter, to cut up a watermelon, and to make dinner. I mean, That is absolutely bare minimum. That is not, that's not asking for much. And it's not even today. It's not even today. Oh, so then when he realizes that he's almost running out of time and we're going to be home soon, he's like, oh, I can't because I don't have this. So you know what a normal person would do? They'd be like, oh, I don't have that. Let me go get it. But guess what? He has 30 minutes until everybody's going to be home. So he's just like, I'm just not going to do anything. I'm just going to lay now because I waited so long and now I'm mad at myself. Now I'm just not going to do anything because F it.
I am 30 years old and I'm literally begging for the bare minimum every single day.
What does a man do? When you have children, you always have family. They will always be your priority, your responsibility. And a man provides. And he does it even when he's not appreciated, or respected, or even loved. He simply bears up, and he does it because he's a man.
How many hours do you work, Eric?
60 hours a week.
60 hours a week. And how many hours do you work at home?
The same. More. All day, all night.
Really? And then you woke up and realised you were dreaming, you mean?
Well, my day doesn't end sometimes.
What do you mean your day don't end? It don't bloody begin. You spent time on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You spent time just walking around the house, up and down. You spent time walking back and forth from a dining table with your kids. I don't know what you do with your hours. But I tell you one thing as a woman, if my husband's working, I do want to make sure that I'm doing what I should be doing at home. And then now I'm making you think about that because this is the first time I've seen you become emotional because it's the first time you've even had to sit and think about your actions. You're right.
My mother been married 22 years now. My stepfather has no issue with digging in his pocket anytime my mother say, hey, Wendell, can I get this? He don't have a problem. However, that's because when my stepfather come home, he don't touch nothing. There's food at the table. It's warm. She treats him like a husband.
Just how I said, that's how it works together.
Exactly. Yep. But nowadays, women just think that, you know, hell no. If you f me, all I got to do is f you. That's it. That's what a lot of women think. I'm cute. I got a pretty face. All I got to do is f you. That's it. And I'm going to get that. But then you want to be treated like a wife. You can't have that. No, that's why I'm saying when you said,
you from Baltimore?
I'm from DC. From piggybacking off of what you said, as far as paying the bills, that shit needs to solely be for the woman who helps provide and do all of that stuff for you too, because you confuse a lot of these girls out here thinking that all I gotta do is f them, because like you say, you f them, and I get my bills paid. No.
My husband doesn't cook or clean, and he's still an amazing husband. Here's why. He's a provider. He makes sure that all of our bills are paid, that we have all the food that we need, the clothes that we need, and we are always taken care of. Number 2, he cares about my emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. Not just mine, but our babies too. And number 3, he's fun. He loves to take us on little adventures, and he loves to get us little treats and do so many fun things with us.
A woman who believes appreciating a man for completing housework or undertaking caregiving activities amount to celebrating a fish for knowing how to swim wishes herself a happy Father's Day for taking care of her child's financial obligations. When women take up the financial responsibilities of their children, then they wish themselves a happy Father's Day. But they turn around and tell men that providing for their children isn't enough. Imagine if you told stay-at-home mothers that taking care of the children is not enough. Imagine judging a stay-at-home mother's parenting skills or contributions based on their monetary contributions towards the children. That is exactly what people, including stay-at-home mothers, quite ironically, do every day to fathers. You'd be hard-pressed to find these people going hard on fathers doing the same with mothers. The same men who are told that providing for their families is not enough since they're required to put in emotion work are expected to appreciate their stay-at-home wives because they sacrifice a lot. All this plays into everything he does is his job, the bare minimum, while everything she does is sacrifice. Cleaning the house requires water and all the other products, which is paid for monthly. Taking care of the babies requires resources, which they understand full well, especially when they head into family court. Imagine how delusional it would be for a single dad to wish themselves a happy Mother's Day. You see, men aren't delusional. Men understand there's more to being a mother, whether biological or otherwise, beyond feeding or bathing the baby. Women too, Understand that there's more to being a father than just providing for the children only when it's men doing it. When it is women, providing is enough for them to be the figurative father.